Now can you hear me? Now we can hear me? I literally just like looked up and there was 16 of y'all. Hi. That just was like, wow, there was nobody there. Okay, now you can hear me. Hi. That was creepy as fuck. There was no one there and I looked up and was like, oh my God. And then you were yelling at me saying you couldn't hear me. I was panicked. My name is Tristina Kardashian. I'm a digital organization and planning strategist, and typically I'm on TikTok, but I had to come over here because my TikTok live, I got in a little bit of trouble yesterday. But I've been getting followers over there because I'm having videos about custody and stuff like that picking up on there. And so my TikTok is Tristina Kardashian at House of Tristina as well. So you can find me back over there if you want to go be nosy or hang out over here. I have to read custody transcripts and things like that and go through live consultations with people. So someone used the word yesterday in the background, and so the mic picked it up. And mind you, this was after a long day of work, too. Oh, my God, I was on TikTok Live so many hours yesterday. I was busting my ass. I got like 100 and something followers yesterday for at the end of the night to get in trouble. I'm sick, bruh. Sick. I was so sick. I'm like, damn. Because if you don't get back in front of those new followers within like the hours, sometimes it's almost like, what did you get them for? They'll get lost, you know? Oh, well, now I'm on live, girl. I'm gonna have to come over to YouTube. Yeah, so it was like this whole thing. But my YouTube audience, I don't know who's over here. Honest to God, I have no idea what my algorithm's gonna send me out to. I haven't posted on YouTube consistently since 2018, and I was living in my car. Ironically, I live in my car again. Completely different circumstances. Well, kind of stems back to family nonsense. But this time, I'm living in my car because I'm living in New York. I'm fighting to get my daughter back, and my daughter wasn't like taken from me and like, oh, you know, CPS came in and proved you were a bad mom or anything like that. My daughter was taken in a custody dispute where, long story short, and this is why I'm going to come over here and start, you know, spewing all of it. We've already got this established on TikTok of what happened. They watched it in real time. Basically, I was leaving an abusive relationship. I moved to Pennsylvania. Dad was not around during pregnancy. There's such a pattern showing of all the inconsistency and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when we finally reach court. And I'm like, yeah, nah, this is what it is, and I need you to put that on writing type of energy. Very respectful, though. That's why I'm going to read the transcripts, and that's why I published them, so you can see I was actually very respectful, because if you hear me talk like this, people assume that I had to be up when I came in there, and I really wasn't. I really was just like, oh, nah, like, this what it is. I got this baby. I take care of her myself. Dad is nowhere around, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And boy, was I not prepared for the unethical things that go on in family court. Because when I went through court when I was younger, it was, you know, quote, what's the best interest of a child? But now, oh, they play a completely different game. And it's dirty and it's messy. And I refuse to go through what I've gone through for the last couple months and not use that to not only empower myself, because basically it was cool when I sat in family court and they thought they was doing everything quietly, but once they realized I was going to then be able to retell my story and what happened, that's when the retaliation started. That's when the games of like, we'll just give him your kid. We don't care what the record says. We'll just give him your kid if you keep talking about us on the internet. And the thing is, guess what? Here's this thing. I got this little book right here, right? And you know how we got that first, where is it? It's under the amendments. Right here. The Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. So basically me coming on my TikTok, that's That's that freedom of speech right there. Me documenting what I was going through and then being silenced or threatened to be silenced, that was, stopping the press. The right of the people to peacefully assemble. My TikTok followers and friends across the internet that peacefully assemble in my comment section and say, what the fuck did they do and where's our baby? That's peaceful assembly and protest, essentially, and petitioning the government to fix their wrongs, i.e. the family court. So, needless to say, I'm not really an asshole. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not hiding that I was secretly abusing my baby or anything like that. Me and my baby like this. This man has now had my daughter, though, for 9 months. For 9 months. And a huge part of that is because, oh my God, she was right from that first transcript when she said that she is worried about his stability. She's worried about his consistency. She's worried about his motives. Why is he coming to fight for custody on a kid that he doesn't even call to check in on, a kid that he did not want because he was a sperm donor and we had an arrangement that he was not even going to be in this child's life in the first place, a kid that he was very happy to not participate in any bit of the pregnancy or anything that was going on until the last minute, the day after I made a Facebook post about the person who's been in my life, the person who was supposed to be the recognized parent of said child in the first place, i.e. donor. Then he comes back around and then he makes my life a living hell ever since. And now that he has my child, it was funny at first. He was ha and then he because I was crying the first couple weeks. It was funny, and then it realized, oh shit, my baby mama is about to go from the baby mama from hell, the self-defense attorney from hell, to the worst prosecutor you've ever met in your life. I am my baby daddy's worst nightmare right now because he is the type, as long as he looks cute and quiet, he is constantly able to skirt the law. He is constantly able to get hit with slaps on the wrist when he defies law enforcement by not pulling over, and you know what I mean, the things that he does to outrun law enforcement and etc. Like, he gets just chalked up as a little boy that's just so scared. So scared. So when he comes into family court and he's like, look at my baby mama, isn't she just chill? Look at her TikToks. Oh, she's a hoot, right? Imagine how she talks to me. They fell for it. And then when I started talking to them in a whisper, they got scared. Because that's the thing. If I actually got a problem with you, like if I have a real problem with you, I whisper. If I'm yelling, I'm cool, I'm chilling, I'm just passionate, I'm just advocating, I'm just making sure that I am moving in a sense that has the community moving. I'm making sure that I'm advocating for myself and being heard. I am establishing something. However, thank you for whoever said you hope I reach 300 subs. I hope so too. If you guys could subscribe, that would be great. Because this is my first couple times going live on here. I need YouTube to know y'all want me over here. Like, go later if you want. If I get annoying, be for real, you could subscribe to anybody on this app and never see their stuff again. So, what's a subscribe, Hit that little button. But yeah, like, basically, if I'm yelling, that's me being passionate. That's me advocating. That's me, speaking up for the little guy. But when I'm whispering, that's when to be afraid. And that's what I did to people in court, is I whispered. They wanted the TikTok version of me to step in, and I said, hi, yes. So, motion to enforce order and address parental interference. Now comes petitioner Tristina Dees respectfully submitting this motion to enforce order and address parental interference and support thereof states. And parties and subject child are Tristina D, subject child 7 Moon, respondent Ronald Contreras was never deemed a legal parent, which he still was not. Assigned birth certificate acknowledgement, DNA test confirming paternity, and an affidavit. Now see, those things happen, but they were never established on the record. I did whisper asking you to subscribe. I don't know where it is right here, but wherever it is, you better bop it. No. So despite lacking per legal parentage, respondent was granted sole custody on August 9th in an order. The order that came after months of brutally trying to drag me through the system, and not him. Nope, it was the judge. It was the attorneys. Ron wasn't saying anything. It wasn't the baby daddy. The baby daddy is calling me. Like, I don't understand why these people keep saying I want this fucking kid. Like, I don't know why they're saying that, Tristina. I'm just trying to see her. I don't know why my attorney's not listening to me, Tristina. Because your attorney don't like me because I talked about her red pants on TikTok. So that's basically what happened is I made one TikTok because I knew they were watching me and I knew they were thinking they were going to trap me up. I was going to post something that they were going to trap. So I posted something, but it was the trap for them. And it became evidence exhibit number 1 in my custody case. I did post that video. It became exhibit number 1. And that exhibit number 1 then became the starting point of them being able to retaliate, because here's the thing is the record doesn't have eyes. So they can admit this exhibit. My daughter's going to be 2 on June 28th. So it became exhibit 1 in my custody case where I mentioned that the judge, you know, per her career, this would be insane to give this man this baby. It was like pew pew. It was very much like pew 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 pew. Absolutely. And you know what she did? Jumped in front of it and said, "Is this for me?" Yeah, you know. And now she's mad that she's seeing the consequence of that action, because when I made a statement like, you know, I'm sitting here being on an unofficial gag order that I can't talk to my TikTok friends about this baby that y'all just watch me fucking make and deal with all this shit from this man. This man was nowhere around. All that, you know, this baby we got in the other room, girl, I haven't been on in a while. It was code. It was code to my audience of like, yo, shit not cool over here. I'm blinking twice for help. I'm blinking so that you guys can pay attention. And the solid girl saw that and was like, word. I'm looking. Got in my DMs, yo, what's going on? What's happening? I'm like, yo, this shit is happening in custody court. This shit's crazy. The stuff, I can't talk to y'all about it yet because I can't let them know I see it. And so when I make my TikTok to my core audience talking like in code, my bad. When I made, can you hear me again? When I made my TikTok to this core audience and stop. YouTube. Oh, don't call back. My bad. When I'm making my argument to my core audience and I'm letting them know like, yo, there's something going on over here low key and whatnot, that becomes exhibit 1. That was bait. It was hung there because I said things that you're gonna watch and you're gonna want to pay attention to, and then you're gonna want to come in. It's all right, girl. All right, my bad. I had to tell one of my girls come over here. This is where we at. Yeah, so like that core audience and whatnot, basically, I had to drop that. They pulled that into court, and that right there, she watched that and she saw that as on her career. It was me very much saying, you know, I see you playing with me, right? And I can't say that to you in court, and I don't know you, and I don't know nobody that knows you, and I don't know how else to get this message to you, to not play with me about my child. And so I did it in the best way that I know how, make a TikTok, because the people that stalk you and them haters, they're going to be quick to want to run that. And the thing is, I said nothing wrong. I said a fact that she just restored motions out of a hearing that I was not in, and that is crazy. I've never seen this happen before. I did not lie. I have the transcript right there. I got the transcript. April 24th, hearing. Ms. D's here. No, Ms. D's not here. Ms. D's don't know about this. This is attorney only. Haven't talked to my client, etc., etc. I wasn't there. That's what I said in my TikTok. And then we come back into court and you right away trying to start off with Ron is just a victim and I've been hiding this baby from him. Not with my pages of text messages I just sent to this attorney. Not with my statement from my midwife I just sent to this attorney. Not my months and months and months of therapy while I was pregnant and postpartum and social worker and all that shit I just sent to this attorney. I know that's not how we about to start this off. I know we not about to play that game. And yes, that was how they were starting it off. And so I made that TikTok to make sure that everybody knew what's good. They had no evidence. They had nothing that they could have used. And then they went and then they started digging down the TikTok because they found that. And it was very clear. Custody court update. It was so... When I tell you, people that don't get social media are so... Like, clickbait is only a thing because it's so easy. If you know who your target is off of a video, it's very easy to loop somebody in and like, if you want rage, if you want them to expose that they seen it, you know what I mean, etc. And that's basically exactly what I did. And so even right now, with every post I make, I'm doing exactly that. Still, I want you to grab another. I reached for another TikTok out this TikTok cookie jar to try to bias a court against me because of one statement. One moment of my life. Because here's the thing, this is my press. Unless we're gonna watch every single TikTok or Instagram post or YouTube post or Facebook post or everything, every comment I've ever made on the internet, unless you are going to do that to get the full scope of anything I've ever said on the internet, don't pull shit out of the internet. Let's go off of the facts. Did I text that man and invite him for Thanksgiving? Yes, I did. Did I text that man and ask him, could you get her diapers? And he goes and texts my mom laughing, talking about she tells people she works. Because he's too busy stalking me online, pushing my planners and seeing that as like me struggling and me failing, when in reality I was building an algorithm. And I'm glad I built that algorithm, because that algorithm is what is pushing my custody content. Because the same people who were watching me push that type of shit are like, nah, like, I believe she got all that paperwork on you. I believe she got that shit somewhere. Because I've been watching this bitch use that same damn planner and calendar for like 3 years. Only 4 of us have watched the videos over the last 6 years. But, you know, I believe that she done kept note on everything. When I tell you, this is me. You want to meet me? It was hard to truly show them the impact of how much I paid attention, because they didn't want to take the pictures. They didn't want to take the messages and the emails and all those things. And I had to show them that this is how I actually keep track of what you do. I color code this shit. Okay? Purple is custody. Blue is order of protection. Green is child support. Yellow is important. Housing. It fluctuates. We now have purple for the appellate division. And I just keep track. So when this man takes my baby and this man doesn't want to return her, and I send you the emails and I told you all the warnings, and now we're in month 9 where we still don't know where that damn baby is. I promise you, when I'm bothering you every day, and by bothering you, I mean I call the CPS worker on that Monday and then follow up on the next Monday, and I call the appellate division and follow up on a motion on Friday that I submitted on Tuesday, and when I submit something over here on a Wednesday and it gets dismissed the next morning and all those things. When I tell people what you did to me, I'm really going off the dates. I'm going off of the shit that your record doesn't show. I'm going off of the shit that your story to your colleagues about how she's just a crazy mom won't stand for. So that's my prefix for basically what has happened, and that's for the replay. Now it's a matter of one, reading my transcripts on here. So I'm going to read first hearing. I'm going to take a deep breath because it's going to stress me out. It always does every time I do. And the book is available. Can I edit a scene while I'm on here? Let me see. Hold up. had an icon on my book. That's what I want to put up. Where are you at? I don't know why I can't find it. One moment. Because I just used it earlier. So I know it is around here. I hate scrolling through my pictures. There we go. Okay. So, there we go. What was I gonna say? I had something I was gonna say. Are you still there, Ice? Or is that you still you? Or we got somebody new? Who's my one viewer?
Sabotage you in some way.
Oh, this is playing in the background.
Digging. I'm seeing your phone was hacked, your computer was hacked. Maybe your phone was tapped. They were listening to you. They were
what's up?
Messages. They were going through your
Hanging
phone
out.
when you were asleep. You were under some type of surveillance. They had somebody watching you. Maybe they had hired somebody like a private investigator or just somebody. They had a third party watching. And I am seeing that they did hire.
This is funny because I do believe that I've been being watched, which is crazy because I know whoever's watching me has to be like, what the fuck am I doing? This is just a woman that literally just don't stop working. She gotta live in her car, but she still keeps working. Hustle, don't stop, I gotta keep going. Hustle, don't stop, you gotta keep going. Alright, let's see. I told y'all where I was gonna be. If you're looking for me, you can find me. I'm not discipline enough. TikTok. I have uploaded today. I'm on YouTube. Damn, girl, you left the group? That's crazy. Okay. That's the thing. There's so many people over here on YouTube. I ain't about to wait for people from TikTok to come over. I hope that they know that. I love them and all that. But, like, girl, if you miss me over here, you can watch it on a replay. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna have the people that's over here just waiting forever because we be sitting here all night waiting on these girls. I know that. They'll come in 2 a.m. and be like, oh, my God, I missed you on live at 6 p.m. Girl. All right, if you want to read along the link, can you see the link? I cannot see my YouTube, unfortunately, when I'm on this Wi-Fi over here for some reason. I cannot see. I can only see when you purchase things for, like, through my store, you know, et cetera, but I can't see where you're looking at. Let me try on my tablet to make sure you got access to the link and all that. I have like a skin tag on my eye, like a mole, that is gonna fall off soon. That's a cute little graphic. That girl be working, boy. Oh, so y'all don't even see the graphics I have up there? That's a cute little graphic. You guys don't see these two graphics right here? That's wild. Oh, so y'all don't even see the graphics I have up there? That's a cute little graphic. What? What is the point? What is the reason? You guys don't see these two graphics? Wait, that is so wild. The whole point of me being live through this Steam, what is that? Streamlabs. The only point is for you to see the graphics. If you don't see the graphics, that defeats the whole purpose. Oh, now they're there. Were they there a second? Like, I'm not tweaking. They weren't just there a second. It was there the whole time. So why was it like it wasn't there? That's creepy. They do look kind of tacky though, so let's fix that and act like I'm a graphic designer too. I do a lot. I'm a jack of all trades and master of all. It's the ADHD and the tism. It is. Jack of all trades, master of all. Everything. I will learn it, master it, and then get bored with it. Okay, so there we go. Alright. So I changed that around a little bit. I'm normally this ugly, by the way. I am normally always this ugly when I'm on the internet. It's because I be on the internet. I don't be having time. You get me pretty like once a month. I might care. Only person I get pretty for is the person I lay with. And he gets this. I can tell you that. You want to take this messy bun. This messy ponytail. It's either pretty or prepared. That's what I always say when I go to court. If I have a court day that I'm like, listen, pretty or prepared, pick one. Some days I might, be just a little less makeup and a bun and whatnot. If I have emergency motions, I'm not going to get dressed and put on heels and skirts and all that I'm coming in these biker shorts and this t-shirt. Like a citizen should. Alright, description. Is it in the description? That's what I want to know. Can you see? You can tell I don't even use YouTube, honestly. Alright. In the description, you can actually purchase the transcript book, consultations, and all of that. It is in the description. So I'm going to start reading my transcripts, and that's the best I can say. All right, I'm moving on now with jumping into my actual work. I've been on for like 20-something minutes. So that's more than enough of like a prefix, 30 minutes. So now we're just going to chill because I ain't going to hold you. There's money on YouTube. There's money on YouTube, but there's money in digital products. And so for myself, if I was getting trapped up in custody court for the next however many months of my life, oh, trust and believe, we gonna cook off of this. And if I have to keep reading all these transcripts to catch all the lies, we gonna read them together millions and millions and bajillions of times Okay. Yes, that was what you just thought it was. Yes, it was. All right, so after about page 8, page 9 of the transcript book, you'll pull up into the first hearing. The first hearing is an ex parte. I'm going to be skimming through, and this is why I sell the transcript, because I'm skimming, because I've read it already so many times. You don't need to know every single little, like, that's the point of having it in front of you yourself. So this was a first appearance. This was an ex parte, which means Ronald was by himself. He was filing an order of protection against me. Side note, I did not know this was happening. Obviously, it's ex parte, etc. Ronald has been gone since September 6th. This is now September 22nd. Ronald's not making no efforts to speak to the child. Ronald's not answering any phone calls. I'm not bothering Ronald other than saying, talk to your child. But Ronald took it upon himself on this day. Also, please note, Ronald also called CPS and told them I wasn't feeding my child. Interesting, because what was that funny thing about, like, Ronald wasn't near this child? Crazy, right? Wild, I know. Okay, so September 22nd, 2023. Kristen Esplane. She is an attorney referee. Where is she right now? I have no idea. Nobody knows where Kristen Esplane is. Kristen Esplane, where are you? That's an important thing. Nobody knows where she is in the court system right now. But I have only had her name on this. So Kristen Esplane, they swear Ronald in. He says yes. This is the docket number, etc. 23 of Contreras versus Dees. An ex parte application, order of protection. Are you Ronald Contreras? Yes, I am. If you would like to hear the matter, please sign and date the referee stipulation. He said, okay. What is your relationship with Tristina? We have a child in common. Is everything in your petition true and accurate? Yes. Oh. Do I have this petition on me? I have it. It's just, is it right here or is it in the back? I think it's in the back of the bus. It is in the back of the bus. They don't read his petition on the record also. This is something quite interesting to me. As we should be reading the petition to the record. Okay, and you swear to the allegations in the petition. Yes, all right. You said that on September 6th, when you refused to buy her marijuana, you were met and threatened with violence. What did she say to you? That she was going to fight me because I would not purchase the marijuana. Bear in mind, I've never been able to defend myself to these allegations to this day. They sit in a record, but they've never been defended, and they were never, properly withdrawn or dismissed due to communication. However, he is still being granted confidential address just off of this petition that is not even in existence anymore, nor the confidential address, but we're still giving a confidential address right now. Isn't it so crazy to talk about this later? Wow. Okay, because I would not purchase the marijuana, I had stepped outside the residence. Doesn't say that he's been gone all day. It was his first day to actually watch his daughter, and by watch his daughter, I mean 2 hours in the living room so that I could work from the kitchen. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say that regarding the marijuana that he was supposed to buy. I literally just asked him, could he go to the store on his way back in, because he was fucking gone all day. And I've been in the house with the baby all day, and I'm supposed to be working, and once you come in, I want to hand you this baby so I can go sit on the porch and work real quick because it's legal in New York State. Okay. And I'm doing my job of taking care of my baby every day, 24/7, while you do nothing. This is September. My daughter was born June 28th. We came home June 30th. I have taken care of her every single day, while this man just sits in my house. You don't see him talking about that. While this man just lays on my couch, while this man has put his hands on me, while this man has literally tried to do the most unspeakable shit to me while I'm still trying to heal from a baby. Just getting cut out of my body. This is why context is always key, because you see how they'll walk into a room that you're not in. That's all. That's all. I just threatened to beat him up because he wouldn't get me marijuana. Okay. Did something happen when you stepped outside? She followed me. She threw keys at me. And I continued to walk down the street. She had gotten in her car with our child, drove down, and said she was going to give away my property. You mean you came in the house because you were going to buy the marijuana. You didn't have $10 in your pocket. And you accused me by calling me and saying, did you take money out of my wallet? And I said, no, why? What's up? And then you hung up the phone. Then you came in the house, and then you walked around the house. And I was like, what's going on? What are you looking for? And you wouldn't say anything to me as you checked all your pockets and all these places. And I'm like, are you looking for something? Are you looking for money? Like, what is it? Because when I started to realize, oh my God, did you just really low-key try to accuse me of like stealing money from you? But like, by the way, what do you need this? Like, what are you talking about? Why would I even take money out of your wallet? And this, that, and the third, and I'm running all this, but why are you walking past me instead of grabbing this child that I've been in this house with all day, and you just begged to be on a birth certificate and be here and all this? And yeah, I'm a couple weeks postpartum, so excuse me when you decided that you were going to ignore me and walk out the house, as I very much was trying to ask you, what do you need? Because I need to start working. I was quite literally on TikTok live at the moment that you walked in the house and all of that. I walked outside behind you. You walked off. I did throw them fucking keys. I sure did. Just why? Because you little disrespect. And I was fed up. And so when you decided you were going to walk off knowing I can't chase you because I just had a kid cut out of me, I got in the car with my daughter and myself. She was buckled in. She was safe. She was sound. She was dressed comfortably, dressed warm, strapped in. Buckle up here. Everything was good. Pulled down the street with a box of sneakers and some scissors and told you I am going to cut these goddamn shoes if you do not act like you have some sense. And you stood there and grabbed the phone and called the police and said, hi, my daughter's mother is trying to stab me. And I said, are you crazy little fucking shit? And I looked at the neighbors and said, y'all just seen that? And they said, yeah. I said, you see that I'm in my car? I didn't get out my car, right? And they said, yeah. I said, thank you. And pulled off and went back to my house and then threw your shoes outside and then texted you and told you to come get your shoes. And then you did not come get them. You texted me and said, I'm tired of your threats. And I sent you the picture of your shoes in the yard that had been stolen in the time I had to go in the house to take care of my baby. And then you showed up. And when you showed up, let's keep going to his version. Okay, give his property away. And did she? She did. How much property did she give away? I valued it around $56,000. $5,600, my bad, $5,600. What does she give away? Shoes that I sell. And it was over $5,000 worth of shoes. Yes, that's what I have it valued at. What kind of shoes? These are collectibles. There's a collector market. Are they sneakers? Rare, limited rare sneakers, yes. Okay, and what do? Buy them and resell them online? Yes, that's the business. He doesn't even understand when he's talking to an adult. You get what I'm saying? Because you just came in. What does this got to do with your kid? Yes, that is the business. Okay. Did she do anything else? She had asked friends of hers in the neighborhood to assault me. How do you know she asked them to do that? Did you hear her say it? Yes. And what did she say to these? Were they men or women? They were men. What did she say? Oh, they had first engaged me saying they wanted to fight me. And she said that I did deserve it. And during some time, they were trying to figure out what was the best way to fight with me. They wanted me to move to a shed. They were concerned about the camera that she has outside of her house because they did not want to get caught in the act. They asked you to move in a shed so they could beat you up? Yes, I did not comply, but yes, they were trying, I hope not, to get me to change where I was standing. Dear reader, Do you mean you came back to the house and I was in the house with the baby and you were storming up the yard and there was some young men in the area apparently that have been paying a lot of attention to the ongoing abuse and the constant issues that you are bringing to my house that barricaded my house, i.e. stood in my driveway and told you to leave and you told them no, and they said, yo, you're not going to keep putting your hands on your baby moms, you need to respect her, she just had that baby, we know you wasn't around, you coming around here, and that he turned around and continued to pursue, trying to go past them and breaching their security, but also then berating them and telling them that they're pulling shit out their asses, and they're like, bro, don't, I see you. And he's like, I didn't hit that, and called me out my name. And they said, yo, if you got problems, you could have problems with men. And he said, no, because I'm not this, and I don't want jail and this. And they said, bro, ain't nobody calling no cops. We could go over there if you really want it. And he continued, I'm just going off of what I heard from the community. Because, again, I was in the house with my child. And the crazy thing is, he's talking about the cameras. The cameras weren't even up. Because everybody's Wi-Fi went down on the block. So wild. Anywho. But that I was out there and I asked these boys or men to beat him. It's altered. He says men here, but then they say boys. I don't know. Later. Did she ever direct them to hit you? Not in those exact words. That's crazy. I didn't. You know why? Because I wasn't there. But she said I did deserve to get hit. Oh. Now, dear reader, he absolutely deserved whatever the hell. Have you ever watched Daddy's Little Girls? You know, and that community kind of like thing that comes. I would compare it essentially into that type of like community justice of like, you are not going to bring your ass around here at 125 pounds and be putting your hands on this woman that we know is one of the most hardworking women on this block, that struggles, that just did everything in her power to make this baby, have this baby. She done talked about how much she wanted a baby and wanted a sperm donor so much, and then when you came around and she immediately got pregnant, we was all happy until we found out that you was the type of dude that puts cats in toilets. So excuse the community for wanting to protect their community. Because we got a lot of issues with pews and all this other stuff going on. But, you know, it's something that we should shine a light on when the community wants to protect women. But, hey, we say that black men don't protect women a lot. But I never did direct them to hit them. Not in those exact words. Okay. And you ended up being beat up and having fractures in your nose and your right hand. Is that correct? Sounds like white. Okay. Typically, you know, when something happens to certain people, everybody always goes, what did you do to deserve it? Correct. And during that period of time, what was it that she was going to hit you until you actually got beat up by these guys? Approximately how much time elapsed? I believe 30 to 40 minutes. So you stood outside my house for 30 to 40 minutes waiting for people to beat you up that I allegedly had already ordered to beat you up. This lady. So it was fairly close together. Yes. All right. I find the subject matter jurisdiction. I find reasonable cause to believe she was engaged in harassment. That's a big word. Great question, Delilah. Welcome. So she's to stay 500 feet away from you and your home. He doesn't even have a home. He was in a shelter. I will grant you your confidential address. Does she know where you live? No, she must not. She must refrain from communication, except text messages solely regarding the health, welfare, safety, welfare, visitation of minor child. She must refrain from any family and criminal offenses against you. Are you on Seven's birth certificate? Yes, I am. Okay, with no proof. Okay, this will be a temporary order of protection. We'll give you another court date. If you do not come back and see us, this will be dismissed, blah, blah, blah. Great. Here comes Tristina. On the 26th, unbeknownst to me that just happened. Okay. It's me and referee Bernard. The court, okay, we're on, blah, 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 matter 38, docket number, da, 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 whatever, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Are you Tristina Dees? Do you swear to tell the whole truth? No, but the truth, you got it. Yes, all right. So, Ms. Dees, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, obviously, because he already knows that there's this thing against me, right? I'm going to ask you a series of questions to determine whether or not an order of protection is appropriate in these circumstances and whether the court has jurisdiction over this matter. So let's start with, what's your relationship with Mr. Contreras? He's my ex, the father of my child. So you have a child in common? Yes, all right. And he does not reside with you. Is that accurate? No, he's currently, I think, in a shelter. Okay. And you filed a petition earlier today. Is all the information contained within the petition true and accurate? Yes. All right. So do you indicate, this is the difference between a male and a woman judge, right? A man and a woman. Yes. All right. So you indicate in the petition that on at least one occasion he's attempted to strangle you. Yeah. All right. And I guess about when did that happen? That was 7 days after we came home from the hospital. So I came home June 30th. So 7 days from June 30th. Okay. So in early July then. All right. And we're there. I said, yeah, it was like, because if you know how I talk. Yeah, it was like the night before the 4th of July because I was looking through text messages. Okay. He says, all right, so like July 3rd, evening of that. Yeah, all right. So you indicate there was a physical altercation and that Mr. Contreras placed his hands around your neck and attempted to restrict your breathing. Yes. All right. And during the course of that, did you experience pain? No, I bit him and he got off of me. Okay. And there was a period of time, though, where you were not able to breathe. Yeah, like he went and like did one of these type of things. I showed him whatever. He said, okay. I said, He said, all right. And so you just want to make sure, I just want to make sure here. Are you looking for a refrain order for a stay away? I said, refrain, that means like he can't call me or nothing, correct? He said, well, a refrain order right. He would have to refrain from communicating with you, except you do have a child in common, so there would be an exception for communication regarding the child only, and that he would have to refrain from committing any family offenses or criminal offenses. I said, He said it would permit you to be like at the same places in the community, or it would not restrict you from, being in each other's physical presence. I said, yeah. And he said, and the other type of order would be a stay away, where he would have to stay away from you. I said, I would like him to stay away. He's been gone for a month. Mind you, he just came in there a couple of days before to file this. He's been gone for a month, and he's not making any attempts to actually see his child. He says, okay, well, there would be an exception in there for visitation exchange. But again, my order, I said, yeah, he said, I do not do custody. I said, I just filed for custody and all of that. This is the first time I came in. Because remember what I've said on my TikTok, that when I went in for an order of protection, I was told I needed to file for custody on that day. So I filed for custody on this same very day. Okay? Even though I wish I never did, because what I had was de facto sole custody and I should have been able to leave because we are not married. He is on a birth certificate. However, the court does not have any record of this yet to be able to establish any type of jurisdiction whatsoever, even over this case in the first place. And so then, now, I said, I just filed for custody and all that. He said, okay, so I won't be making any custodial arrangements. I said, okay. He said, but basically, I'll put an exception in there that will permit you to be in each other's presence for visitation exchange only. Not saying that you have to do any, or that you would want to do any. And he said, I said, yeah. He said, but if you go to custody court and they come up with some sort of schedule or something, if that's even what happens, then my order wouldn't prevent you, from that happening. I said, okay. He said, okay, I'm not requiring you to do any visits. I said, no, okay. He said, but I'm not preventing you from doing any either. I said, yeah. I'm like, no. And he said, okay, so let's do this. So the court does find it has subject matter jurisdiction based on the relationship of the parties. The court is going to issue a stay away order. I do find that there's reasonable cause to believe that the respondent engaged in harassment and is second-degree strangulation. As a result of that, it will be a stay away, because I also mentioned about the cat stuff and all that, and there was an order of protection about the cat stuff the year prior, when I first found out I was pregnant, and I kicked him out of the house in November 10th of 2022. Okay. As a result of that, it'll be a stay away. So he's to stay away from you from about 500 feet, etc., blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. And he's like, and obviously if the conversation starts with, hey, arrangements for the child, he was talking about the child, the conversation, but then it turns into you're a terrible person. There's no opening the door, and then you can say what you want. That's not how it works. If the topics turn to things that are not appropriate, that would be a violation, all right? He is to refrain from committing any family offenses or criminal offenses towards you. He is not to own or possess any firearms, apply or carry a pistol permit. And my order is subject to any future order, of family court or Supreme Court with regards to residency, custody, or visitation of the child, and that will be the order. So what's our next court date? The clerk, November 21st, 2 p.m. All right. Now, mind you, that was already scheduled because of Ronald. All right, so we're going to come back on November 21st, 2 p.m. If you don't return on that date, the court will likely dismiss your petition and vacate the order, so it is important to you. Second thing is counsel. You are entitled to counsel. So if you want to have an attorney assist you, you can certainly do that. You're free to hire private counsel in the alternate end of the court for a public defender's office. I said, if you filed a custody petition, you can also ask for representation on those in that case. Okay, and at the same time, at this point, did you want the referral to the public defender's office? Yes, please. All right, so we're going to give you a pink sheet. Go down the hallway, blah, 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 blah. The court. All right, and then do I say anything else substantial? He was asking me about service. I said, I don't know. How do we serve them? How does that happen? So your best bet is going to be calling the sheriffs, giving them the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here's the thing. I did that. They came. They served me with his. They never gave him mine. All right. So, Mr. Menard now again. This is November 21st. He does this hearing. We come in. I'm going to skim because it was simple. It was like, yes, can I speak? Just a second. As soon as we come in. Okay. Would you sign the referee stipulation? Yes. Okay. So, Ms. Dees, at this point, I don't have proof that Mr. Contreras was served with your petition. Wow. It looks like this is the start of the pattern. Did you want any additional time? Yes, I attempted to get him served several times. He wouldn't respond to me. Okay. When he found out that I filed a petition, he then had me served, and I gave that officer his in return. He says, okay. I said I was under the impression the officer would be giving it back to him when he went to go confirm that I was served. He said, right. Okay, well, it appears that for whatever reason, that did not happen. Certainly, if you want to make arrangements to have Mr. Contreras served, we'll send you a quote new packet. And obviously, we're all here on his case. If circumstances were different, we're willing to accept service. I could provide him with the paperwork. We'll get to that in a second. Obviously, you're being funny, bro. Not accepting service is the most pettiest thing that somebody could do in court, and it should be a huge red flag for an abuser to not accept a piece of paper saying you can't go abuse, but you know it exists. That should be a huge red flag. That is something that has gone on not once, not twice, not three, not four. It's gone on this entire time with Ronald. It is essentially still in effect, but then you can't violate him because he just gets to keep saying, I didn't know about it. Even though he knows about it. Even though he's well aware it exists. He just says I wasn't served with it. Not accepting service is literally the rabbit hole. And when you have judges that refuse, like this one sees the writing. The men see the writing. They see what's going on. But, when we get those other species up in the courtroom, girl, he's sitting in the courtroom with the judge right now. He's sitting in the courtroom with the judge right at that moment. He's staring at this man, refusing to accept service in a hearing where he and I both have them. Like, he's literally sitting there with no. I don't accept service. Nope. I don't accept service. I don't know that paper exists. What are you talking about? It's sick. Hey, I could provide him with the paperwork. You see what I'm saying? But we'll get to that. All right, so Mr. Contreras, this is him talking to him. You have a right to counsel. If you want to adjourn for the purpose of seeking counsel, I can give you time to do that and a referral to the public defender's office and blah, 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 blah. Do you want time for that? He says, yes, that's the delay. So you're refusing service and you're hitting a delay. If Mr. Contreras was really worried about seeing his daughter, would you not have already done what you had to do for your counsel? Would you not be accepting service so that we can move forward? Right? Because remember, at this moment, this is the 21st. This is the day I then text him, ask him about visitation. Does he want to come see the baby? The thing that they ignore in the future in those hearings, okay? Keep note. That's why I say it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. So Mr. Contreras, I'm going to give you a referral sheet, blah, blah, blah. The clerk yellow. Okay, we're going to give a yellow sheet, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, go in there, etc. They'll screen you, blah, blah, blah. Ms. Dees, with respect to Mr. Contreras' petition, this is your first appearance on the matter. I can also give you the information for the public defender's office, see if you qualify, etc., blah, blah, blah. Did you want the referral? I said, yeah, can I get that via email? Or I could just I think I have it for the public defenders. I do have it, because now I'm virtual. I was in person before, now I'm virtual. He says, yeah, I can give you the phone number. I said, yeah, that's good. He said, do you need the phone number? Do you have the phone number? I said, you can give it to me, please. I think I had Sebi. I want to say she was, doing something at the time or was getting ready to wake up. Okay, all you had to do is give them a call, blah, blah, blah. When I tell you, Mr. Menard was absolutely, if we would have stuck with Mr. Menard, I think we would have been fine, but yeah. So we get pushed out to January 2nd. Here I speak now. I have a question in regards to him being served. So I have no idea where he is. He does not communicate with me of any of that. And we're supposed to be able to communicate in regards to our child. He says, okay. I said, it's a shit show. Excuse my language. And he says, okay. And I said, but I have no way of getting him served. I don't know where he stays or anything. I'm not in the state now. I had to come to Pennsylvania for a short period. I was not aware if I was staying in Pennsylvania fully yet, what was going on. He says, okay, well, in terms of service, there are private companies that do service. You certainly can continue to work with our PD or with our sheriff's department. I don't know if they're able to do that remotely. I guess my suggestion would be at this point would be to exercise the referral to the PDs, et cetera, et cetera. I say, yep. And he goes, all right, we're going to go schedule whatever. Okay. So for these dates, though, I have an appearance already scheduled for the 6th that he has requested an adjournment for the public defenders on. So wouldn't they be the same public defenders for all that? He said, yeah. I said, that's in regard to child support and custody. He said, custody, yes. Child support, possibly. Depends. This is how men judge. You see how he's answering me questions. That man is not giving me legal advice. He is making sure that I am understanding the procedure as a pro se litigant in his courtroom. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Mr. Menard, let's give you your things. He is one referee I will always give because he was never big. Never. Not even the Ronald who he's seeing is playing a game. Okay. Custody, yes, blah, blah, blah. Child support, they kind of run differently than the VV, but yes, normally you would have the same attorney if possible for the custody order and the protections. Right now, they're all separate, so let's just keep that in mind. If you've got a date on the 6th, whoever the referee is on that date will likely know that there's an O petition, and if the attorneys are assigned on the case, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Great. Let's drink some water before we bring in Nicole. Because As soon as she's assigned, that's when you see this whole dynamic start to shift. Let's bring the women in the room. My Cash App, Tristina Kardashian, if you want to hit my tip jar. This is about to be a doozy. We're going to be on here for a while and the bitch is hungry. So, Tristina Kardashian is the tip jar. Anybody feels interested in dropping that in my Cash App. If you want to buy this book now and take a quick break, I will pause. I won't continue to read. Just let me know if you're going to buy it so I can pause for you. The links are right there in the description. Because this is when it gets good. And we have, what? How many hearings is it, Delilah? You got a copy, I think. How many hearings? Like, maybe 6 or 7. I'm not going through all of them. Tonight, I will quite literally push myself into a deep rage. I said hi to you, babe. When you said hi, baby, I did say hi. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yep, if anybody's going to purchase the book, let me know now. I'm gonna take a little moment to breathe because this next one is about to make you, ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. You're gonna see why I say they are the court rejects. The family court are the rejects of the criminal court. Oh, it's a mess. Yep, it is a mess. Is that you, Jess? Yeah, ain't it more fun to like do it together? That is you. Oh, okay. Welcome. Who else is here? State your business. Nah, who else is here? We got 3 other people. You coming from? Where you coming from? You coming from the U to the tube? Is you coming from the tick to the top? Yeah, because I didn't know who the hell that girl. You sound like a grown man with that screen name. I was thinking you was a big brolic dude. Just, hey, baby. Oh, hey. Oh, my God. Yeah, nah. Yeah. But yeah, if you're going to purchase the book, hurry up now. I'm about to start reading this next hearing. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Ooh. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, I'm so hungry. I ain't gonna hold you. Hold on, what you said? That's funny, my email, blah, blah. Oh. Okay, nobody wants to read it with me? Don't, because I'm going to skim quick. I don't want y'all feeling like you lost. We are starting on the December 6th hearing, 2023. This is our first hearing in front of Nicole Bailey. This is our second appearance. But I love that they put it as a first appearance again. That's cute. All right. So, I'm representing myself pro se. Oh, no, you're good, girl. And Miss Matu is now representing Ronald. Ronald is there, and so is Janelle Serio, a court clerk. Okay. The court, we're back on the record at 12:08 p.m. Oh, my God, I'm already triggered. With cases 25 and 26, Dees versus Contreras and Contreras versus Dees, the court will first contact Ms. Dees. I'm just going to, Mr. Contreras has a confidential address. So I'll contact him first, mind you. There's nothing about his address whatsoever. No. Yep. No. This is the first thing. All right. The court will first contact Ms. Dees. I'm going to contact Mr. Contreras' confidential address, so I'll contact him first. Ms. Matu is present for Mr. Contreras. Good morning, Ms. Matu. Hello, Referee Bailey. Can you hear me? Why do I got to do this? Can't somebody else read this? I'm already irritated. I can't. It already happened, Christina. Okay. The disrespect is just... No, there was all just referees. So this is now her coming in as a new referee. Okay. But take note to this. Pay close attention. All right. So, can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? Now I can. Sorry. I'm off my cell phone. Okay. And I wasn't on the speaker at first. That's okay. So, I didn't hear anything before this. This matter of Contreras versus Dees. I have you representing Mr. Contreras. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I'm going to attempt to contact him now. Hello? Hello, is this Mr. Ronald Contreras? Yes, it is. Mr. Contreras, this is the court attorney referee Nicole Bailey calling from Monroe County Family Court. We're on the record. This is the matter of Dees versus Contreras, Contreras versus Dees. Also, Ms. Matu, who's your attorney, is also on the line. I am going to now attempt to contact Ms. Dees. So if you can just be patient with me for one moment. Now, dear reader, Karen Matu has just called me before coming in. Karen Matu is saying right away, I represent Ronald Contreras. And so, yeah, we're going to be asking the court that Ronald Contreras gets partial custody, etc. Whoa, bitch, that's a big word for him. So me, I'm like, okay. But you don't know your client. So, like, is you sure about that? Well, yeah, I said, Ronald has done some very, unspeakable things to me, et cetera, et cetera. And she's like, well, I have some pretty damaging text messages, too. You don't say. And we're going to see what the judge says about them. Wow, well, which ones you got? Because I got a couple. Well, we're going to see what the judge says. Oh, okay, we'll see you there, girl. Bye. Click. She called me to try to intimidate the shit out of me. So when I tell you I come in the way I come in, it's because we just got off the phone and y'all was already on there and I don't know what was said before I came in. Okay? Yeah, no, the shuffling is the problem. Referees are essentially, they call them mediators sometimes too. All right, so hang on one moment. I'll be reading the handwriting for me. Hello? Hello, is this Christina Dees? Dees, yes, this is her. Who's calling? This is because Karen just called me. Miss Dees, this is court attorney referee Nicole Bailey, calling from Monroe County Family Court. Okay, with your matter, Dees versus Contreras and Contreras versus Dees. I also have Mr. Contreras on the line, and I have Miss Matu, who represents him, also on the line. Now, mind you, this is a what? All parties present telephonically. You don't know what I look like. We're not seeing each other. This is a phone call. A three-way. When I told you it started off on some mean girl shit, this is a burn book. Literally. Okay? So again, all right, blah, 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 blah. I have Ms. Matu, who represents him, also on the line. First and foremost, I say, okay. I am a court attorney referee here in family court. I'm a referee, not a judge. You said it, not me. I am a referee, not a judge. Okay, I need permission of the parties. Okay. To hear and determine this matter. Ms. Matu, do I have your permission to hear and determine this matter? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. And Mr. Contreras, do I have your permission to hear and determine this matter? Mr. Contreras, can you hear me? Yes, I can. Any determinations? Are they temporary or permanent? Why? Because we just came into a room and there was women. Hold up. You mean to tell me that they didn't even have a Zoom call? No, it was literally a phone call. Literally a phone call. Yes, I can. Are they temporary, permanent? There could be temporary orders, and if this matter goes to a hearing and if there is an agreement or a settlement, they would be final orders. Okay. The court, would you like the opportunity to talk with Ms. Matu about that to make a decision? Yes. The court, okay, so I will wait on that. Then what are we doing here? From there, what are we doing here? If you're waiting on that, if he just said he wants to talk to counsel in regards to you representing him, then what are we doing here? Ronald Contreras, that was the first time they violated your rights. In case you don't know, babe. When I told you they played with you too, you have no idea, because you see how Ronald's like, are they temporary or permanent? Why? Because you might actually give me that baby. And this lady, Karen, I could tell she about to come in on some shit about me actually getting that baby. No, I'm just trying to piss Christina off. Okay. I'll wait on that. Okay. So I'll wait on that. Ms. Dees, do I have your permission to hear and determine this matter? Yes, Your Honor. Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you, Ms. Dees. You also have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court can give you one, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Would you like that information, miss? I have the information. Thank you. Why? Because at this point, we've already now had this many months of Ronald not participating, not wanting to send diapers, not taking a visit opportunity, the history of domestic violence audit. This should be easy. This should be easy. So no, I did not get an attorney yet. You know why? Because I was perfectly fine with speaking for myself. Okay. Are you planning on a contact with them? Are you planning to represent yourself? Are you planning to retain counsel? Me. As of now, I'm comfortable representing myself. Comfortable representing myself. I will reach out if I feel like I need the assistance later. Okay. And Miss Dees, can you tell me what it is that you're seeking? I said, is this for custody or child support? We have two today. She says this is custody. I say, okay, so custody. I currently have full custody of our daughter. It's called de facto custodial guardianship. You know, when you create a baby and you go to the doctor and you make this baby, and then they cut the baby out and they hand you the baby, and then you sign all the paperwork and you take the baby home and you put the baby in your car and the baby goes into your house, and then you take care of the baby and all of those things. When, you know, you are not married to the person you had a baby with, it is called de facto custodial guardianship. So I had what is de facto full custody of that child. I didn't pull that out my ass, but you know, when people don't want to listen close enough. She is an infant still. She's about to be 5 months. So I have full custody. This is me just talking how I talk, right? I have full custody. I would like for no visitation is what I'm asking for. Ronald does not make any effort in seeing her, has not been making effort. The only time he does make effort is in a sense to kind of like trigger me or start a fight in an argument. I've gone above and beyond to get him to talk to her on the phone, FaceTime her, send voicemails, respond to a picture that I send of her doing stuff. I even invited him out here for Thanksgiving. I even invited him out here for Thanksgiving. I've done a lot. I feel like on my end, we have some like restraining orders in place between each other. There's been a lot of tension between us, and I've been able to kind of, you know, tuck mine aside, at least for the sake of her, even though my wholehearted belief at this point is just like stay out of her life completely. But if you're going to pretend to be, you know, active, I'm giving all the opportunity and none of that is being met. So since she's still young for her development, I would like him to just stay out of sight, out of mind, and keep it as it is, because he does not stick with consistency to call. The only time he's called me since September 6th was the day that, you know, I coincidentally left New York. Let's just go back. Since September 6th. So before he even filed his order of protection, before I moved, before our first hearing where he still didn't want to accept that service, and this hearing right here on 1206, the only time that man had called me was the day after I moved. Sounds coincidental to my whole pregnancy that the only time That man wanted to be a father was the day after I made a Facebook post about Quaddy. Sit with that for like a whole 30 seconds so that I could sit with it for 30 seconds. Let's just sit with that. I said what I said. He was not making effort. Just stay out of her life completely. What are we doing here? I invited him for Thanksgiving. I have tried everything on my end. I did not lie to that woman. I had gone above and beyond to try to be nice to this man when no one was there to tell me to. She should have said, and what evidence do you have of that? Do you have some stuff you think that I should see? Etc. So she goes, okay, so Ms. Dees, when you say you have full custody, do you mean you have the custody with the child? That's the problem. That's the problem. You just said something that I didn't give you, the power I didn't give you yet, and you're just going to tell me that you got full custody? That's all that bitch heard. That's all she heard. I said, yeah. She said, or do you have a custody order from another court? I said, no. I have her with me all the time. Okay, so you're seeking an order of custody of the child with you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Miss Matu, what's your client seeking? Thank you, Your Honor. So I would like to enter a denial. What is your client seeking? I would like to enter a denial. General denial on behalf of my client at this point. So Miss Dees did move to Pennsylvania. You're arguing a defense. What is your client? Karen, I really hope you're watching this playback. What is your client seeking was the question. Has made it very difficult. You're testifying for right now. You're testifying is what you're doing. You are testifying. Okay? Immediately that Ms. Dees did move to Pennsylvania, so it has made visitation very difficult for my client who currently does not have stable housing. He would like to FaceTime with the child to talk to her, but believes Ms. Dees is always causing conflict. How if we haven't even had a fucking conversation? Where if you've not made a phone call? The phone call he made after the day that I moved, he called and said, where are you at with my daughter? The fuck is this? Hello? I know that's not my baby daddy. Where am I at? Where? With your what? You know I screenshotted the hundreds of phone calls, right? You know I screen recorded the videos of calling with 7 there to show that I actually have 7 popped up. And sent them to you. Okay. Even though at that time I knew that they could be used as like I was trying to manipulate him. No, I'm genuinely saying, here's this fucking kid. You want to see her? No? Okay. All right, don't say nothing in a couple weeks. Don't start calling my phone, getting on my nerves. Why? Because I know you. I know you. So when you called me the day after I moved, it was predictable. Predictable as how. You know why? Because I just talked to your mom. And I know your mom is going to be like, do you know she moved? She won't tell me where, but I'll find out. I'll find out. And that's why she said, I'm going to send you some stuff. And I said, yeah, here's the target. Don't tell your son where I'm going. No, I would never. I would never. No, you do what's best for you and the baby. Because she knew. She knew she was going to support your ass later when you got to claim that, oh my God, she kept the baby away. That's why she was telling you to call CPS on me too. They mamas be sick, bro. They be sick. Because mind you, the same woman texted me and told me he needs mental health help back when I first found out I was pregnant. And keep him away from me and my baby. Same woman was just telling me a couple weeks before when he was punching me in the head while I was on the phone with her, talking about getting him mental health help to keep my baby away. But you know what she heard also on that phone? She heard me calmly, quietly put my child down after that boy just hit me. She heard me walk out in the living room and tell him, "What's up? Want to go outside?" My daughter in this house, but if you got a problem where you feel the need to put your hands on me, I could see you outside. I could see you outside. You want some gloves? I could get some gloves in the neighborhood. Cause you just punched me in my head. You feeling good? You okay? Cause we talk about getting you some mental health, and you just like straight bop right in my head. So I just want to make sure. Like, how was you cool? She heard that. What's going on? Nah, your son put his hands on me. It's okay. I got him though. Don't worry. Yo, you want to go outside? You want to go outside? Come on, outside. Go pee pee potty. You want to go outside? Let's go outside. You just punched me in the head. I was holding my baby. This is after you just choked me. A week before that, yo, you getting a little carried away. Getting a little carried away. You just choked me while I was holding my baby. You just punched me while I was holding my baby. Now listen, I know that you're losing your mind, and that's why we're talking about getting you the mental health. Like, that's why we having this conversation. But like, oh, is you cool? Because I don't put my hands on you. Because if I put my hands on you, you know I put my hands on you. We all know I put my hands on you. So is you cool? Because you just put your hands on me. And the crazy thing is, you know why he put his hands on me? Oh my God. And he hates when I say this because he wants this to be like something he's going to tell the internet one day. So when he first left, I was about like a couple weeks pregnant, right? I had something I was already talking to too. Why? Because we wasn't in a relationship. So, and everybody know I stay with a roster. So my number one draft pick on that roster at the time was the one coming to my first doctor's appointments with me. Chilling. Like, baby, I get supportive ass niggas. You heard? Like, DNA don't mean shit around here. When somebody want to support you, they don't even mean they trying to play daddy. That's somebody supporting you. So, excuse me when you left, if somebody wanted to support me. Couple times. Maybe like a couple times in them first couple weeks. Shit, listen. I needed the test drive because if you're going to stick around the whole pregnancy, I got to know what I'm signing up for. And let me tell you, a slammer. I was cool. We would have rocked, but his mouth was a little crazy, so I cut him off right away. And then I just rocked out the rest of my pregnancy. Oh, I promise you. It was very early, and I used protection. Oh, it makes him sick. When he realized I went from and being generous on the thickness to I can hear your heart crying out for me. And like, mind you, like an old school nigga too. Like, he old school. Like, he'll wear Dickies. Exactly. Cardi B. Like, nigga, I'm grown. What is you talking about? I'm grown. I don't tell them all. Tell the world that man came over. And after you just put me through hell and I finally got your ass up out of my house and we was chilling and we watched a movie and all that I was like, I ain't gonna hold you. You been rocking out and shit. You gonna rock out with me this whole pregnancy? Because I could use that. You know, I'm gonna have to get this baby back out. Like, and I know it's probably what's up in there. And he like, I mean, wanna see? I'll see it. I just want to know. I just need to know. Golly G. This is going to be a great delivery. Let's go. Let's try that. Let's try that out. Let's see what that's hitting for. I would absolutely love to test drive this Camaro. Like vroom vroom, bitch. My car go vroom vroom. Like, what? Oh yeah, baby. Loved every moment of it. That's when I see you, Ricky. But again, his mouth is crazy. But I told y'all, when I see you, Ricky, I will never. I don't lie. I do not lie on I don't lie on that. I don't lie on that. When you lie on that, that's when you start getting cobwebs and shit and dry and all that other stuff. I don't know. I'm 33 years old, you heard? I don't lie on that. That man been locked up since we was a teen. He in his first 2 years out and free and all that. That shit was crazy, bruh. You bugging. That shit was crazy. I will 10 out of 10 recommend Ricky. I will 10 out of 10, girl, try it once. Don't save his number. Don't talk to him. Don't care. He's a Scorpio. He move a little funny. But I promise you, just get up on that one time. I knocked some shit loose up in there, bruh. Like, it was crazy. Anyway, that's Ricky. I'll ask him if he wants me to plug him out like a calendar or booking or something. I could probably make some money off of that. I ain't gonna hold you. I should hit him up. So anyway, he was mad. He is mad about that because on this phone call now, fast forward with his mom, we're talking about getting him help and this, that, and 30. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, Tristina's not telling you that she was out here. Okay, niggas. First of all, you can't even say that word. Bet you won't go say that on the internet. Bet you won't go say it outside. You can't even say that. You can't even say that. Do you know you can't say that? Do you know you got 30 minutes? Like, you can't say that. And he did. And he did. And he did, girl. And he did. So I'm like, I'm sorry. Monica like, what? I'm like, Monica. Basically, God forbid a woman have a hobby. No, I was like, Monica, this boy talk about me sleeping with one of my friends in the beginning of my pregnancy one time. Yeah, buddy. I don't know if the recording can see this comment. I feel like him calling you Drake is so racist. Yes, the Drake comments. The Drake comments are to make me, quote, overcompensate my blackness because he says how I treat him in court is my whiteness. So I'm only weaponizing whiteness when I come into court with a petition and I type because he wants me to tone it down because he's trying to convince them that I'm super duper ghetto. So he calls me Drake so that I get on the internet and be like, hey, yo, bruh, real talk. You already know what it is, son. Exactly. But that's the thing. We're both biracial, but two different kinds. He's Puerto Rican and Caucasian. I'm black and white. We two different worlds, baby. And he thinks he could say that word because he be raised around black people. So when he said that, he said it with the whole thing to his mom, blah, blah, blah. And I said that and I repeated myself. That's when he went and punched me in the head. So that's why I said, hold on. Maybe we're really confusing here. All right, so let's just backtrack because y'all know me. I love to sit back and think. You just tried to choke me 7 days after I had a baby. A couple weeks have gone by, and here we are. I'm having a conversation with your mom. You was just laying on my couch crying like a bitch for the last couple weeks. You're not going to work. You ain't bringing in no money. I don't like you. You keep trying to, grape me and all this other shit. You're banging your head off of the walls, and et cetera, et cetera. But then you want to bring up to your mama when we talk about how we might actually need to get a guardianship over you. You want to bring up that I fucked the nigga, and then you mad that I was like, yeah, and did. I don't know what he mad about. Why? Because this ain't his pussy. You punched me in my head. Oh, you really think this yours? Let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Let me tell you something. Let me make something very motherfucking clear to you. Everybody knows what I used to do for work, baby. Ain't nobody ever owned this shit but me. Ain't nobody ever owned this but me. Ain't nobody have no ownership over it but me. Now, I might let somebody loan it out. Like right now it's on Pablo. It's Pablo's. He got it. It's his loaner. She just for Pablo. I don't know. I be trying to talk to her. I be like, yo. And I mean, like, well, let's just get a roster. She like, no. She decide what she want. So she decided what she wanted. Yeah, and did. Real good, baby. And did. So he was sick. He's sick, bro. Sick. Like, what? And then you gonna say it to my mama? Mink, he forgot where he was. So, again, I then put my baby down because she was still wrapped up. She was asleep. I was rocking her on the phone. Just da. She's chilling. I said, oh, let me put my baby right there, nice and quiet. Like, nice and quiet. If you know anything about my old house, you know them old French doors and shit like that. It gets quiet, silent. Again, hit my tip jar, Christina Kardashian. Now, we've been on now for an hour and a half. I ain't hear now one ching. I'm fucking with y'all. I'm really not. I'm hungry. What do y'all think this is? This is work. Anyway, you think I do this for free? So, you can hit the link down below or whatever. So one of them links will take you to my website with my cash app. Y'all need me to come put it in there? Should I come put it in there? I'll put it in there while we on here. So anyway, I walk out in the living room. That's when I walk out, and I'm like, damn, 3 people left? Oh my God, y'all broke. I thought I was broke. Y'all jumped out. They hopped shit. They said, oh, no, she one of them big hoes that wants to be paid for her deuce. So, that's when I walked out in the living room now, and I was basically like, yo, like, is you cool, bro? Is you straight? I told him we can go outside. We can get this popping. This is after weeks and weeks, and this is the second time you just put your hands on me. You'll put your hands on me, something like that, but you won't square up. So again, let's go back to that video, or that first hearing where he's in there telling Miss Splain about how he just got beat. No. What happened was Ron was called out. Ron ain't want to square up with 1. Ron didn't want to square up with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. No matter how much smaller they were getting, how much younger they were getting, he did not want to square up with, and I'm just going off of the community feedback because of course I was in the house with my baby. Ron was not squaring up with none of the men that were lined up for him. If he wanted that. I want that with you too, Trinity. Like, yeah, if he wanted, Trinity was there. Okay, Trinity was all up and through the yard, but you're not going in that house to think that you're going to keep going and messing with her. Why? Because she's playing with her baby. She's taking care of her baby. She's minding her business with her baby. You're not going in that house. You want to fight with somebody? See me. Where my shoes? Y'all stole my shoes. Ain't nobody stole your shoes. What shoes? The niggas that stole your shoes is gone already. They gone. That was like 30, 40 minutes ago. Didn't he say it was like a while? Like, that was a while, bruh. You throw out a bunch of Jordans and shit, Yeezys and shit in the hood. That's one car. I don't know. Again, I was in the house taking care of my baby. I did throw them out. I did. He could have honestly just filed a civil lawsuit against me. You still can. I bet you I'm not paying it because you owe me $5,000 in child support and all of this that you put me through. And I just haven't even come up with a monetary number for that yet on the lawsuit that I'm going to sue you specifically as a person for. Oh, yeah. You see how Cassie settled with Diddy? Yeah. Yeah, because money talk. Money talk. When the court don't want to prosecute criminally, come back with some money. Put money on them. Get they paycheck taxed for the rest of their life to pay a settlement for a lawsuit for what they're putting you through. Sue these men for the abuse. Stop trying to get the court to prosecute no. So where Ron this whole time is thinking he's having so much fun, baby, I am going to show that you will weaponize the court system and still continue to harass me outside of it and still continue to do things to harm me and emotionally harm me because, baby, you kept saying you ain't want nothing to do with this kid. I forgot that. Think I ain't got them tweets no more? Yeah, where you told people I was crazy? Sue them. Sue them. Sue them. Don't even sue them for legal fees. Sue them for the mental harm. Sue them for what they've done to rewire your brain. Excuse me. Because I could tell you right now, if you see the way I tried to talk to my baby daddy in the beginning as a friend, how I talked to my baby daddy after I got pregnant, how I talked to my baby daddy when he was absent and I was opening the door to give him an opportunity to go get some help if you actually want to be in this child's life, to telling my baby daddy when he decided he wanted to come around in the end that he would need to work for my trust. Then he comes in to the hospital. He's there in that last month to then come home and start putting his hands on me and then start banging his head off the wall and then not get the help when I'm sending him to the hospital and then leaving and abandoning his child and then weaponizing the court system against me and then taking the baby during a proceeding that you knew because you tweeted, what is the world coming to when it's all against a white woman? Because you saw how much they hated me and did not care about anything about our child, because I could tell you through half of these proceedings, it ain't shit about Seven. It ain't shit about Seven. They barely even say Seven's name. They barely even ask anything about Seven. It was all about, well, Ronald is available. Ronald's available. Just somebody forced her to do something. They were sick because they couldn't force nothing. So then they come along later and say, I don't abide by orders. Bitch, I said, write your name on that shit, sis. That's what I said. I said, write your name, shorty. You gonna tell me take my child to a park and hand her to a man that I know is unsafe, because I have done everything I needed to do to make sure I have documentation. So there is a long history that I know that that man is unsafe, that if he, in fact, did harm my child, you would then be looking at me for not making the court properly aware. So when I said no, I said no, because if there was ever a subpoena go through my devices, you'll see all the times I text that man and told him he needs to get help. Said he was mentally unstable. How many times I went to my doctors. How many times I said it to my therapist. How many times I said it to his mother. How many times I said it to any family constantly, over and over and over again, that I am fully aware that Ronald Contreras is mentally unstable. That Ronald Contreras is a schizophrenic, is an unmedicated person, is suicidal, is homicidal, has made remarks about wanting to be like Jeffrey Dahmer. We have it on videos and they've been on the internet. So no, Nicole Bailey, I'm not sending my daughter to any park with this man for any instance, because he is mentally unstable and you don't know him, but I do. I do. But again, she took it personal. She took it as a personal attack. She took me exercising my First Amendment right, my right to represent myself, and my right to be heard and have due process personal. But let's go back. Does not have stable housing. He would like to FaceTime with the child to talk to her, but he believes Miss Teases always causes conflict. And it's no longer about the child. It ends up being about their relationship that deteriorated. Do you mean every time that man picks a fight with me, I say, see, this is why you should go to therapy? That? Because we haven't talked since September 6th. Other than the text messages asking for diapers that he said, she tells people she works, to my mom. And I said, yo, watch your mouth. If you don't want to support this child, don't support this child, but watch your mouth. Or when I said, oh yeah, you know why she thought that? Do you know why she thought that? Delilah, how much have we been paying attention? Do you know why she thought that? Do you know why she thought that? Because let me be on my Wendy Williams. Because allegedly, I said it from the jump. Ain't no way. I know when a woman calls me woman, a woman. That was not no attorney calling me. That was a woman calling me woman to woman to tell me he want to see his baby And I got text messages from a year ago when you were buku pregnant and he was nowhere to be found, telling him that you was going to put his daddy blood or your placenta blood on his daddy headstone. That's what I said. Placenta blood on his daddy headstone. That's what I said. That's what I said. That's the word. That I was pregnant. That was a year ago and he was nowhere to be found. And it was because he was on the internet trying to tell people I was lying about being pregnant. And I wanted his money to get high. What? But you know, the projection is a reflection. The accusation is what they do. He's the one that needed money to... Isn't this so much fun? Isn't this so much fun? Now you see why I struggle to like read them unless I'm doing it like this. Like unless I'm doing it in a way that somebody else hears this, because 2 lines and I'm like, because remember this, at the time he's not paying child support, at the time he's not trying to see this baby, at this time he's not making his phone calls, to actually talk to the babies. He does make sure to keep FaceTiming me so I see he's in a Tesla. But he doesn't have transportation. So visits are very difficult. Whose Tesla was he in? Whose Tesla was he in? Who in his circle could afford a Tesla? And no one will answer me on if this person drove a Tesla. No one will answer me. Meaning, no one will say, no, she was not driving a Tesla during November and October of 2023. I still don't got an answer, and she ain't never denied it. Played the video where I said, remember, go watch the video. I think it is on here, where I said, it's like they got something going on. It was because of stuff like this. I've never in my life heard an attorney just immediately be like, I'm going to enter a denial, just a general denial. Like, did you even do push-ups before coming to the game? Like you need to go take a break for a granola? You need a Nola? Get in the field. What you mean a general denial? You're not even trying. You're not even trying. And mind you, again, we're on 3-way. There's no seeing faces. None of that. So I say, she says, about the relationship that deteriorated a few months ago. He doesn't have the ability for overnights right now, but he would like consistent phone contact, and maybe they could meet halfway in a public place. Ultimately, he'd be seeking a joint custody order. Thank you. The court, okay, so what I said, and may I have an opportunity to rebuttal? I do have some clarification on that. The court, hang on 1 second. Just let me make sure that I said, yep. She said, noted everything. Noted everything. Did you do that before? Did you ask to hold on to make sure you noted everything when I was talking? Okay. And is there an order of protection in place between the two of you, right, Ms. Dees? I have one filed against him. He's making it. He's not making it easy to get him served with it. I have no idea where he is. He has one that's filed against me. When the officer dropped it off, I gave it for him, and I guess the officer did not return it to him. I just said that to Mr. Menard, right? She says, okay. My client has a confidential address. Who is currently does not have stable housing. Who currently does not have stable housing. My client has a confidential address, bitch. Like line 7 on page 7. Line 7 on page 8. Well, here I am aggravated all over again because then, okay, so there are 2 orders of protection in place, so that does make it difficult for any meeting or visitation. Does it really? Because isn't there, we could visit, right? And Miss D's, how long have you lived in Pennsylvania? I said, can we clarify when I did mine? She says, how long have you lived in Pennsylvania? Whatever, we crossed each other. I said, so I came out here in the middle of October. Ronald has been gone since September 6th. I was in Rochester for a good amount of time. I did not leave the address that I was in until October when I came out here. Ronald knew I would be moving because we were getting evicted. And this was the only place that I could go so I wouldn't be in a shelter with my daughter out in Rochester. Does that not sound like good judgment on mom's part? The court. Okay, so what I would like to do is adjourn this case out and get an attorney signed for the child. Wouldn't you? You lazy. Instead of continuing to ask any more little clarifications while we're doing this to kind of, like, let's see what everybody really is going to say and all that. No, because you couldn't even be bothered for a virtual hearing. You did a phone call. My life and my child's life, while we had cross petitions or orders of protection and a newborn baby, couldn't be more than a phone call to you. So let's adjourn this out. The opportunity to talk with the attorney if she would like. If she would like, allow Ms. Matu the opportunity to talk to Mr. Contreras about the referee stipulation and whether or not there is any way to move this case forward. So why did you continue to hear it if you have not had Mr. Contreras' agreement to hear it? And this is what I say, Nikki, Nikki, what are you doing? Why did you continue to even hear any of this? Because you put this in your order later. These statements about how I moved to Pennsylvania to thwart his access. That's what she says. That's what you say, Nikki. That's what you say, Nikki. Oh, I'm aggravated, yeah. Let's just finish this hearing. We're almost done with this hearing. Again, the book is available. You can go read these transcripts yourself because it might take me a day. It might take me a couple hours. I don't know fully. But if you're on a cliffhanger, the book is available. Any money actually comes to supporting my life right now. So just throwing that out there to anybody watching this. On a replay. Ms. Matu about any offers on settlement on this matter. In the event of meeting him halfway and things like that, absolutely not. I will not. Not really big on that. So that's one thing I can't meet. With him calling to talk to the baby, that's fine. However, my only ask is that it be consistent. Don't call the day after I leave New York. You need to call her every day at the same time, the same way that was expected because he's seen it on the reverse and living in the house, what I expected out of my family. Thank you, girl. If you're going to call my newborn infant baby so that she could learn your voice and learn your face, then it needs to be consistent. So, Miss D's, I said, it cannot be once. She said, Miss, I said, every 3 months. Miss D's, let me ask you a question. Is there any time of day? I said, She said, are certain days that you want to set up now that Mr. Contreras could either call you out on those days so we can have a consistent time of the week, whatever. I said, yeah, that's fine. If we want to discuss your schedule and figure out what works with him, I could do that. She said, what? I said, I could do a consistent time. She said, what days and times would work the best? I said, off the top of my head, I don't really know a specific time off the top of my head. I said, she's 5 months. Typically anywhere between 2 to 3 in the afternoon are good. She's in a happy-go-lucky mood. And mornings around like 10 to 12, she can be like, awake then. Sometimes she sleeps. But I said, that's every day. She says, Mr. Contreras, I said, she's on an everyday schedule like that. Oh, girl. You see me starting to twirl my ponytail. The court. Mr. Contreras, could you make a phone call consistently a few times a week at 2? Yes, I could. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. He never did. Nope. 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 I come back and tell them that too. Oh, that hearing's the one that really grinds my gears. Okay, yes I could, okay, blah, blah, blah. I want to say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 to 2:15. I think that could work, okay, blah, 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 adjourn, whatever. Report back. It does say subject to future orders of Supreme Court, okay, so I will issue a temporary order that he can have phone contact with the child Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, etc., etc. Miss Matu, could you draft that temporary order for us? So again, when I say she would do anything if Karen typed it up and she didn't have to do the work. Lazy. Yes, I can. Okay, and then I said, I had that in mind already. No, sorry, I went to talk over. She said, yes, it's in there. That's what I just looked at. I said, yeah, I had it. I did notify him like the day before that I filed. The day that I filed, he's been notified since September 26th of that. We're talking about that he could call. And she said, okay. And I said, and that he could call anytime for her. Miss Dees, I have an email address for you with the first name and then bats@gmail.com. Is that the right email? Yes. Okay. Miss Matu, I do not have an email address for your client. I do have your email. So what I'll do is send a link with the next appearance to Miss Dees, Miss Matu, blah, 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 etc., etc. We move forward. Miss Dees will likely want to be in touch with you, the attorney for the child, okay? Baby won't be able to talk on the phone with them, but they'll be able to talk to you and perhaps video chat with the baby as well. That's how they trick you. Because then that person gets to say forever that they're speaking on behalf of your child. Because they video chatted with you and they saw your baby on the screen. That's their consultation with my newborn baby about what she wants. Yep, they saw a picture of her sleeping. Yep. So, we got the temporary order, etc., etc. We're going to end here, and we will be re-adjourning on January 10th, 2024, for the attorney for the child report. They're like findings, which is crazy because there's no attorney for the child. Okay. Okay, y'all. That was fun, as always. I will check back in with you. Hit my tip jar, Tristina Kardashian, buy the book. Catch up. We will do... Our next hearings are going to be January 10th hearing. Turn on your notification bell. I don't know when I'm doing it. I'm just being completely honest with you. January 10th and I think to September something. Okay, girl. Yeah, I'm off. Again, I had fun. Peace. This was so much fun. Thanks for going through my trauma with me.